What up, everybody? It's your man Danelle, aka Small Guy Promotions, aka the Omaha Fattie, coming with another podcast episode of What's Up Omaha. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. It's the holiday season. I hope you're not too stressed out and that you're able to find some times to take a step back, breathe, and relax a little bit. It can be stressful for a lot of people, shopping and getting gifts and, maybe you're working overtime to make sure you have enough money for the holiday season because it can be expensive. People like to spend a ton of money during the holiday season. I'm cheap. I don't like to spend a lot of money. With the exception of food, like I don't have any other vices or anything. So I don't really like spending money. I'll spend money on the kids. Then outside of that, if we do gifts for adults, we always have a limit of $25. But even with that limit of $25, my wife has 3 siblings, and then we had her parents, my father-in-law passed away earlier this year. So it'll be crazy and it'll be a little different. So I'm not sure how we're handling it. Because you want to give joy whenever you can. So, I don't know if we're going to give gifts to the adults or not. But then also on my side of the family, my mom, my aunt, my cousin, my cousin's son, plus our kids, it can be a lot. If you're spending $25 a person, you're thinking 10 people, $250, which $250 may not be a lot to some people, maybe a lot, maybe a whole lot to other people. So I just don't like to spend money, especially on like it's one thing for my wife, but when they're like as an adult who has a job and can go out and buy the things that I want and need, I don't really want to buy gifts for other adults. Like that's just not like for other adults who can buy the gifts themselves. Like I don't really understand that. Back when I was younger, it was always cool to give and receive and all that, whatever. But now at this point in my life, for the last however many years, I've just not really been into buying gifts for adults that can buy them for themselves. And I don't really care to get gifts for myself either. That's not to say that I don't give gifts and that we don't receive gifts, and it's appreciated, but I don't like feeling like you have to do things. Like doing something for someone else, it should just be out of the kindness of your heart whenever you're moved to do so. There shouldn't have to be a holiday for that to happen. So I don't know. I for years have felt like holidays are, like a lot of other people, very commercialized, and it's not even very rarely is it focused on the reason that it was initially supposed to be about. A lot of times people, like kids especially, all they know about is getting gifts. And I'm not a religious person, but I mean, that's all that it seems to be about a lot, is getting gifts. And again, that does not mean that receiving a gift is not exciting and fun and cool. But I just think that it's very commercialized, and I try to buy in like a little bit. Like I don't want to go off the deep end, and we will do a little bit for our kids. And they're never wanting for anything, or I should say they're never needing for anything. They always want something. Shoot, they don't know how hard it is to make $1, so they always want something. But yeah, man, I just hope that you guys are able to enjoy the holidays and do whatever it is that brings you joy and happiness, whether that's going to work, participating in some type of activity that you enjoy, whatever it is, man. I hope you guys have a wonderful holiday season. We got our first little snow of the season. Not too excited about that. I know a lot of people love to see snow outside. I personally do not. I don't mind the cold, whatever, but snow when it comes to driving and just having to shovel all the time, not very fun. Don't love the snow. And then considering that the place that I work is talking about going back to work next month, like why would you choose to go back to work in winter? Um, you know, that doesn't seem to be very exciting. Like I'm really not looking forward to it. And I really would love if I could just, on the day that it's time to go back to work, that I just take my computer equipment and say, here you go. I'm not coming back to work. I'm done. I'm done. That is my goal, man, because I really don't think I'm going to make it too long being around these folks who a lot of them I feel not necessarily on my team, but just for the company in general, a bunch of fake people. I'm not going to go too deep into it. I've talked about it before. I'll wait till I'm no longer with the company and talk more about that. But yeah, man, I'm just hoping that I don't have to drive out for that. Like, it's one thing if you're going to something that you enjoy to do, going out in the snow. But yeah, I don't want to have to drive in the snow after being at home for, almost 2 years. I don't want to go and have to drive to an office when it's very clear that you can do the job from home. I don't see the point in it. I feel like it's very inefficient, and I love being at home when my daughters go to school, and I'm home when my youngest daughter gets home from school. Before, when we were working, because of our schedules, I would have to leave work early on Tuesdays and Thursdays so I could come and be home for my daughter when she got out of school. It's just an all around hassle to have to go to work when you can do it from the comfort of your own home. Anyway, outside of that, man, things are continuing to go well. I was contacted this past week about being a guest on a local podcast talk show. I hadn't heard of it before. The audience doesn't seem to be too huge, but I believe they have a little following. And Ricardo Montgomery is the person who reached out to me for his show, and I'm like, yeah, man, I'm always down to talk about food. He did it on behalf of Omaha Fattie. Again, Omaha Fattie is being well received by a lot of people and just continuing to grow. So that's one cool thing that happened this week. Another thing is I visited the Tri-City Food Pantry. That's just like 2-3 minutes from my house. I've been wanting to do something. Yeah, I support like local community by going out and, spending money with local restaurants and whatnot. But since COVID has started, I haven't volunteered my time or my energy or my talents to any place. And before COVID, I used to do a decent amount of volunteering on some level. We've done money, of course, since COVID has begun, but I haven't really gotten out and supported any community organizations. And I've been thinking for like months about what to do and how to do it. And I just kept thinking, maybe I'll volunteer my platform for some kind of food bank or something. And I kept seeing Tri-City Food Pantry, and I had never been there. And I was also considering one other place of someone that I know who runs it. And then what happened was, on Facebook, I saw a little promotional ad for the food pantry, and Melissa Nelson, who's the director over there, I know her. I know her from her time with Sarpy County Museum. And I was like, this must be a sign for me to go and reach out and see how I can help those guys. So I sent Melissa a message on Facebook, and then we set up a meeting. So I had the meeting, I posted about it. They are a great resource for people that need it. There is definitely food insecurity in the Sarpy County area, even in Papillion. I was surprised because I think of Papillion and like everything is more expensive here. Not everything, but like the cost of living is more expensive here because of taxes. But everybody here is not on the same level. And it was a very, very eye-opening experience. And I was happy to see what they did for the people that need their assistance. And one thing that I thought was really cool is that they're really high on discretion. So, and there's many reasons that people could be in need. You may have lost a family member. You may have lost a job. There's so many different reasons that you could be in need. So it's not just people who are out on the street who need help. Your neighbor might need help and you may not know. But the food pantry is really high about being discreet and not putting your business out there. So, it's not like they broadcast people who are coming in and whatnot. So if you're worried about people knowing, you don't want people to know that you need assistance, no worries. I mean, you can go there and they will help you out. And a really cool thing that I like about the food pantry is, sometimes when you get into the world of food donations, you might get things that are not necessarily name brand. And some may say, well, beggars can't be choosers, or you should be happy that you have anything, or, whatever's being donated. And that's okay. That's one side of it. But the food pantry, they have like all the name brand stuff, like the cereals, whatever else you would think of, the snacks and whatnot. It's name brand. And a big reason for that is for that discretion, because they don't want to put their label on things that you have at your home. And one example that Melissa gave me was, say you're having a friend over and you want to share a snack. You don't want to bring a bag out that says Tri-City Food Pantry on it. You just want it to say Kellogg or General Mills or whatever it is. So I thought that was cool. And they're in a small location now that they share with another nonprofit organization, but they're trying to grow to better serve the community. So they're kicking off a little learning event this Thursday, December 16th at Jersey's up on 370. It's from 4 to 6:30 p.m. And you can come and find out about the mission that they're currently on to get their new facility built. They're going to need a lot of help, a lot of sponsors, a lot of community pitching in to help out, because I believe she said it's 1.5 million for the facility. But again, there's definitely a need for it. There's a lot of people who may be struggling, especially this time of the year when you may be paying more for bills because of the cold and needing, heat. So please check that out. They have an event page on Facebook. You can just show up, or you can just, send them a message if you have any questions, but they do a lot. And being the Omaha Fattie, I said in my post, I couldn't fathom not knowing where my next meal was coming from. And I don't like that other people may be living that way. So I want to help however I can. So volunteering my efforts in the Omaha Fattie platform was something that I thought that I could do to maybe have some sort of impact as far as getting the word out to more people, whether it be people who want to help out and volunteer or donate, or whether it be to someone who may be in need. That's probably the biggest thing, that maybe someone that doesn't know that they exist and are struggling through life, paying bills and whatnot. They don't know about this place, but maybe they discover it through something that I help share post. So that's what my mission is. I told them whenever they need me, I'm happy to share posts. We're going to work on some things. So you might see me go live from the food pantry. You might see Melissa on a future podcast. So that's what it is. Exciting things happening, man. So just feeling really good about the direction that Small Guy Promotions and Omaha Fattie are going in. And it's an exciting time. I'm still working on getting the business side of everything figured out, so we can get that income, that revolving income, that stream of income where I can make a bigger case to my wife about me just quitting my job. But, you know, it's a ways away and everything happens in its time. When I'm ready, it will happen. So I just got to keep grinding for now, and that's what it is. Yeah, man. The last thing that I want to talk about, I want to give a shout out to my daughter, Jamila, who wrestles for Papillion La Vista High School. They had a tournament this weekend. She didn't do. Okay, let me say she did okay. She didn't do as well as we probably would have hoped for her to do. She ended up going 1-2. She lost her first match, won her second match, and then lost her third match to a teammate who she had wrestled a couple of times, and she had beaten a couple of times before. But the last time before this weekend when they wrestled, it wasn't like it's an easy match for her. And her opponent, Marissa is her name. She's very aggressive and talented. I can tell she's hungry for it. And, you know, she beat my daughter yesterday. She was the better woman yesterday. But that's what happens when there's not a big disparity between talent and, you know, experience. And, you know, you go up against somebody multiple times. Sometimes you're going to go back and forth. And though for me, I don't know how my daughter feels about it, but for me, yes, it sucks to lose, but at least she lost to a teammate. So that's okay. And I know she wasn't too down about it, and she thought she might have had another match, so she wasn't too upset at the time. But, you know, she didn't have another match, so she went 1-2. She did have some teammates, though, who, you know, came in first place. I think there was a third place finish in there as well. These girls have improved over last year, and they're going after it. So shout out to all the competitors from the tournament. It was the Council Bluffs Classic, Wrestling Classic, Council Bluffs Wrestling Classic tournament. And it was huge. There was 12 mats going at once. It was just great to be there and support my daughter. You know, I know she was really happy with her, overall with her performance from her first match, even though she lost. For her, it was good, and she had been craving competition because so far in the season, she hadn't had a loss, and a lot of it was due to the inexperience of some of her opponents, and she wasn't really sure where she was at. It's kind of hard to gauge yourself when you're not being pushed to like your highest level. So though she lost, she was happy because she got challenged. She was so happy that she told me she was giggling on the mat, which is wonderful for me to hear. And she was really happy that she was in a near fall situation and she was able to get out of the pin. Ultimately, she did end up getting pinned later on in the round, but she fought hard. It's not like she just gave up. So I'm proud of her. I'm just like, hey, go out there and do your best. If you lose, learn from it. And she definitely is of that mindset to where she wants to get better. So I commend her and salute her for that. And as well as the other girls, because I know it's still very new for you guys. And, you know, it's not easy. That's for sure. Wrestling is not easy. Just for you girls going to practice every day and grinding it out and stepping on the mat, you know, that's, you know, it's impressive. So keep grinding, girls, keep elevating your performance, keep like demanding more of yourself and of your teammates too. You guys will work together and make each other better. And then in a year or two, who knows what's going to happen? I mean, you guys, you're still young in the sport, so I'm excited to see where it goes. And I'm also happy that it wasn't like a 10-hour day for me because these wrestling tournaments are crazy. But yeah, man, that's all I got for you guys today, man. I just wanted to give you another update as I don't have a guest. We'll have some more guests again, you know, coming up here soon. But thank you for rocking with me. Shout out to 402 Barbecue. Love you guys. I need to see you. It's been a while. Thank you for tuning in. Please make sure to subscribe to the What's Up Omaha podcast Spotify, Podbean, YouTube, wherever you're at. I really appreciate it. Thank you guys so much for rocking with me. You guys are the best. Smile, help someone else smile, laugh, and help someone else laugh all day, every day. Yeah. Go Monarchs. Yeah.